Today we are mixing up some paints. First of all, let me show you what I use for my pouring medium. I use American Floetrol. Now this has my pouring medium already in it, mixed. It's got 70% Floetrol and 30% gloss medium. Now that gloss medium is Creative Inspirations polymer gloss medium and varnish. This can only be purchased at Jerry's Artarama in the US. So I use these TCP cups. These are amazing for storing paint in. They are airtight. They have measurements on the sides. I love them. You can get these off of Amazon. So what I do is I start out with my pouring medium, and I am going to pour 3 ounces. This is not by weight, this is by volume on the cup. We are going to do 3 ounces of paint. I'm going to use up what's in this tube, and then we will open my bigger container of it. Or just a little bit of your pouring medium in there, or water to thin them. And you can just pour it in. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to get it up to that 6 ounce mark. I'll give you a little tip when you're buying paints. If you can afford to do so, buy them in the larger containers. It is cheaper in the long run, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of painting. Because if you buy smaller containers, you're going to spend more per ounce, and then you're going to end up buying more later anyway. So just buy them in the large containers if you can afford it. Now that we've got half and half, we're going to give it a good mix. I always do half of my pouring medium first, and then the paint, and then mix it real good, and then add the rest of the pouring medium, because I think it gets it mixed more thoroughly. Alright, and then we're just going to take our pouring medium and fill it the rest of the way to the 10 ounce mark.
Once I have this all mixed up, I can go ahead and put it to the side and store it away, and then when I'm ready, I can pull it down and pour it into a separate container and add water in it to the consistency for whatever technique that I'm using. I like doing it like this because then I don't have to worry about evaporation. So now what I'm doing is I'm creating a custom orange for my project that I'm going to be working on. I have this cadmium orange hue from Creative Inspirations. I like the color, but I want it a little bit more yellow and more muted. So what I'm doing is I'm adding in primary yellow and then zinc white to get the color that I want. One tip that I will give you is when you are creating custom colors, measure everything and write it all down. This way, if you need to recreate the color, you know exactly what you put into it. So what I'm doing here is I am working with very small increments. I started out with 3 ounces of my cadmium orange hue, and then I'm adding in just very small amounts of the primary yellow at a time. I measure by milliliters when I'm adding into my colors. This way I know exactly how much I have, and then I mix it up really good, and then check the color, and then if I need more, I go ahead and add more in. And then once I've got the hue the way that I want it, then I'm going to come back in with the zinc white, and I'm going to tint it to make it just a little bit brighter. Now that I have my color the way that I want it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add water into this, and I'm going to do it in very small increments as well. This is going to get me to the consistency that I want for my swipe. I very highly recommend that you use very, very small amounts of water at a time. Stir it up, check your consistency by drizzling it or letting it run off the stick, however you want to do it, mound over mound, however you choose to do it. And then once you get it about to where you think you want it, then you're going to go in and do a consistency test. This here is my consistency standard that I use when I'm doing my drip test. This is a mixture of Floetrol and Essentials Gloss Gel that I created to match the consistency that Molly's Artistry uses. What I'm doing here is I am putting my paint in one dot and my consistency standard in the other, and then I will tilt the sheet to watch how the paint flows. If they flow at the same rate, I know that I have my consistency correct. If it doesn't, then I come back in and I add a little bit of water and I do the test again. You'll see here that I have to do this a few different times to make sure that I have the right consistency. Now keep in mind, this does not have to be perfect, but you want it fairly close. And you want to make sure that all of your paint colors are the same consistency before you start your painting. I hope that this video has helped you to be able to see how to mix your paints and get the correct consistency for the technique that you are using. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.